Every now and then IEM will come around that does one thing so magically well that despite all of its other pretty big downside, you still enjoy the IEM anyway. You still recommend them to your friends anyway. It's still highly recommended by other reviewers anyway. And in this video, this is one of those exact IEMs. Today we're talking about the Seeaudio Yume. This thing is a gem. Pure gem. I love this thing so much. Before I get any more into it, let's jump into the unboxing. Time for the unboxing of the Seeaudio Yume. As you can see here, it says Yume up front, one dynamic driver plus two BAs in-ears monitors, anime girl at the front, always welcome, always appreciated. Seeaudio at the bottom here. On the edge of the box, you also get Seeaudio written on the side, and on the other edge, some informations, and on the back, some more information, including a frequency response graph. The box slides open like so. You remove the sleeve, and on the box here it says Seeaudio, see through your ears. I like that. It's pretty cool. Box opens up like so. Inside here you get an assortment of stickers. Yume sticker, of course, really nice. The Seeaudio instruction book, really cool. Business card and Ringo stickers, Seeaudio stickers. Now inside the box, you get an assortment of tips here. You get foam tips of all sizes, well, 2 mediums and 2 large, no small. And on the silicone tip side, you get the extra small, medium, and large. The IEMs sit right here. Now when I got mine, they did come loose. Just so you know, you might get that where they come loose in the box. Some of you may experience that, some may not, but for me, they did come loose. So be aware that can happen. Be careful when you handle the box. This is the case for the IEM, and the cable lives inside like so. Fit and comfort wise, these are really good. I never noticed them being too big or too heavy in any way. Now the cable here is too, they're really nice. They're not heavy at all, and yeah, they just don't bother you. Just a genuinely good cable. Yeah, what can I say? Hey guys, Tim, welcome back to another video on Seeaudio, a place for audio gear reviews. Today we have the Seeaudio Yume. Now before we jump into the sound breakdown of this, let me give you some of my personal thoughts on these IEMs. So these I love. I absolutely love these. I fell head over heels ever since the first time I listened to these, and it's one of those IEMs where even if you're not in the market for something that has this kind of signature, I still urge you to try this. Every single one of you watching this video, if you have not tried the Yume, you owe it to yourself to try. The tonality, the vocals, it's just so correct, so beautiful. It's one of those things that you have to experience. You have to experience what near perfect tonality is like. You need to know what that feels like. But you don't want to spend $300, $400, $500, $600 to know what good tuning sounds like. This is $169. If you have the money, if it's in your budget, you have to try these out at the very least. If you don't like it, sell it to your friends, but now at least you know what great tuning is all about. And a lot of people who have not heard good tuning before have no clue. So there you go. This is one of the best at that for the price point of under $300. All right, let's start with our sound breakdown with the bass. Now the bass on these can be described as just having enough power. It's not gonna be something that slams or hits so hard that it blows your mind, or it's not gonna be something that hits so soft that you can't hear it either. So it's neither impressive or a disappointment. It's just enough power. Now for bass heads, definitely not enough power for bass heads. Those of you who like waves of bass, slam of bass, this will not do that for you. But for regular listeners who are okay with like normal power bass, this will do you just fine. Now the best part of the bass in these IEMs would be the sub bass. It has really good sub bass extension. You do feel a rumble in your shoulder and the chest area, which I really like out of IEMs. I feel like every IEM should do that. Why doesn't every IEM do that? Give me good sub bass extension on everything because it feels good and it sounds good. I just love sub bass, and these have that. Now, one of the bad things about the bass that would be a deal breaker for a lot of you here is gonna be the bass texture, the bass detail, the separation. These IEMs just do a meh job, like an alright job at the separation and the details. So it does have a little bit of a mushy kind of feeling. Again, it's just alright. Like it doesn't do separation that well, it doesn't do texturing that well, so keep that in mind. It's not the highlight of these IEMs for sure. Next is the mids, and this is the most beautiful part. Every instrument, every vocalist sound like the way they should sound. Strings, piano, acoustics, some woodwind instruments, vocalists, male or female, sound fantastic out of these. I love how everything sounds here in the mid. It sounds like the vocalist is there with you in the same room. You can close your eyes. They sound realistic. They don't sound like they're being played off any speaker or any audio device. The tonality, the sound of them sounds real. And that's really the selling point of these IEMs. Now, having said that, is it gonna be as realistic or as high quality as like the $300, $400, $500, $600 IEMs in terms of tonality? No, it's not gonna be like that, of course. But at $169, you cannot find better. I would go as far to say under $300, you cannot find better tuning than the Seeaudio Yume, especially when it comes to the vocals. Everything there just sounds so good. Now let's talk about the treble, and arguably the biggest bottleneck of these IEMs, the one thing that's keeping it away from being the god tier vocal IEMs that they should be, and that is the lack in treble extension. Yes, especially in female vocals like Ariana Grande in the song 34 plus 35. Well, actually in pretty much all of Ariana Grande's songs, you'll feel like her range is just not reaching enough. Like there's a limitation there. It feels slightly bit, not congested, but limited. Like you don't get that full body experience. You don't get that shimmer and shine that comes with her voice. And a lot of vocalists that live in her range will feel that bit of limitation as well, so keep that in mind. Male vocals tend to not have this problem. They all tend to do fine, except for male vocals that live in similar ranges like Ariana. Like Bruno Mars, for example, will sometimes have this. Justin Timberlake and Sam Smith at the top of his range can feel a little bit limited as well. But other than those type of male vocalists, other artists works just fine off of these. Now, the overall feeling of these treble is gonna feel kind of like what I said about the bass. It shines just enough, but not enough to be wowing, not enough to jump out at you when you first listen to these IEMs. It shines enough not to be disappointing, just not enough to be impressive. So it's kind of like the bass area where it kind of lives in the all right or good enough kind of territory in terms of like the shine or the brightness, that is. The one good thing about these is that they're not fatiguing in any way. They're not bright enough to be anywhere near fatiguing. You can listen to these for hours without feeling anything like that. Sibilance, non-issue as well. These don't have any sibilance, at least to my ears. But yeah, treble-wise, it is just all right, just kind of like the bass. And you guys might be seeing the picture now that this IEM really is kind of like a one-trick pony, you know, where it does one thing so spectacularly well, but all the other things just average at best. So the bass is average at best, the treble is average at best, but the mid, the vocals, so stunningly beautiful. So that's the trade-off really with these IEMs. You're not gonna get the best bass, you're not gonna get the best treble, but what you are gonna get is best-in-class tuning, best-in-class mids for under 200 or under 300 bucks. Now let's talk about the technical performance, starting with the details. Now these are not the most detailed IEMs out there. The treble is lacking a little bit of crispiness. It's just doesn't quite have it. It's just enough in the treble, to be honest. The worst part about it is in the bass. The texturing, the detail is just not there in the bass, and you will notice 100% that it really does need some work. Now in the mids though, the vocal clarity is fantastic. It really just does the mid well, the rest meh. Imaging and soundstage. Now the soundstage is pretty narrow. It lives just in your head, basically. It doesn't really have a wide soundstage, so expect these just to be like an in your head type experience. You might feel a little bit of width sometimes when it comes to songs that has a lot of sub bass. Sub bass tends to make you feel like you have a wider pair of IEMs, but it's not that. Like it's still pretty much narrow for the most part. So yeah, expect an in your head type experience. Imaging is actually pretty well done off of these. I'm actually surprised. You can tell where each instrument is coming from each direction. You can also almost tell like the level of depth behind each instrument as well. Like for example, which one's further away, which one is closer. Now it's not gonna be the most fine-tuned pinpoint imaging, but for the price, it's pretty good. On to alternatives to these IEMs. Now, they don't really have an alternative in my personal opinion, or at least at the price that they're at. There's an alternative at the higher price point, and that would be the Blessing 2 Dust. That one also has superb tonality. Everything sounds correct, realistic, just like the Yume, but it has just overall better everything. Better bass, better treble, better detail, better soundstage. It's just better in every way than the Yume, while being the most similar in the vocals. But that IEM is double the price of the Yume, coming in at $329. If you can afford it though, the Blessing 2 Dust is a better IEM in every way, and I'll take that any day of the week over the Yume. But if your budget is just $200, these won't really disappoint you as long as you know what you're getting into, you know the downside, and you're just looking for, again, that really nice vocal experience, then the Yume is gonna be really, really good for you. And again, this is the only IEM under $300 that has this kind of quality. So if this is what you're looking for, if tonality and vocals what you're looking for, $200 is your budget, this is gonna be the best you can find. All right, that is it for the review of the Seeaudio Yume. Thank you so much for watching. Again, even with all the limitations, even with all the downside that these IEMs have, I still highly recommend you check these out. Like, you owe it to yourself at least once to know what great tuning is like, or to know what almost perfect tuning is like. It's really, really is a joy to listen to. And if you listen to music with a lot of vocals, oh man, you're gonna love these. I highly recommend these for if you have a library similar to that. So yes, Seeaudio Yume, final verdict, big recommendation from me. Just know the limitation of these IEMs before you jump into it, and you won't be too disappointed. So yeah, that is it for this video today, reviewing this one-trick wonder, the Seeaudio Yume. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.